Maybe that's before now. Solutions 93.9 FM has raised the standard of radio broadcast to preferring solutions in all human angle. 939 FM, the remedy.
Stay ahead of the curve and get updates on the latest trends in politics, government, policies, education, economy, social development, amongst others.
We're happy to announce today that both the federal government and the organized labor have agreed on an increase on the 62,000 naira minimum wage.
Join
AYODEJI, AJISOPE
and
LAFENWA
on from the dailies every weekday from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on Solutions 93.9 FM as they dive into the headlines with in-depth analysis and feedback from you on different stories from the national dailies. Start your day by gaining fresh perspectives, uncovering the story behind the story, and join the conversation. Because your voice matters. From the dailies, the conversation never stops.
Of course, it's another beautiful Monday morning in a big and beautiful city of Ibadan. Though it is a public holiday, but as the show must go on, as the saying goes in the broadcasting world, the show must go on. Even on public holidays, we always report for duties. It's a pleasure to have you here with me this morning, especially just being away from the dailies for about 2 weeks on annual working leave, like I will call it. But it was a working leave. But it feels so good to be back on air this morning to anchor the program from the dailies. And this is where we get to take you through some stories, the trending stories in some of today's national dailies. And as usual, I have Comrade AYODEJI AJISOPE doing this with me this morning. A beautiful morning to you, Comrade.
Good morning. It's a Monday morning, and thank God it's Monday, and I welcome you back.
Okay, thank you very much.
I
was going to say that. I actually missed. Okay. Now, thank God for sparing our lives to see each other again this morning. All right, going straight to the business of the day. I've got 4 newspapers with me. I have the Punch newspaper, I've got the Vanguard newspaper, I've got the Nigerian Tribune, and of course, I've got the Guardian newspaper. And virtually all the newspapers are talking about the discrepancies, which I would like to call it, in the petrol pump price that seem to be emanating these days. Now, taking the account of the Punch newspaper this morning, which also seems to be the biggest story on the front page of Punch newspaper, it says petrol price, Dangote, NNPC differ as refinery supplies 16 million litres. And right under that says marketers await price after Dangote counters NNPC on 998 naira per litre PMS. Dealers allege fuel sale monopoly. Okay, away from that story, let's take a few more stories. NCOS contact Interpol over 281 Borno fleeing inmates. And that story is found on Urge Prayers for Peace, Unity, page 20. And talking politics this morning, 2027, Wike's loyalists move against Fubara's second-term bid. That story is found on page 40. And also still talking about politics, APC-PDP clash over rigging plot on Wike's cousin as wreck. Page 30 of the Punch newspaper has that story. Of course, we'll talk about that story. Labour Party, Abure sues INEC over caretaker ESCO. How I was rescued from collapsed Edo building, landlord's daughter. That story is found on pages 4 and 5 of Punch newspaper. And the last one says, NRN SIM linkage, telcos begin disconnection as deadline ends. The story is found on page 31 of the Punch newspaper. Now, moving to the Vanguard newspaper this Monday morning, still talking about the petrol supply issue. Petrol supply, NNPCL, Dangote Refinery disagree over pricing. And there are quite a number of riders under that caption. 998 naira per litre based on 16.8 million litres out of 25 million. Okay, independent marketers feel left out. We are lifting 16.8 million litres at 998 naira per litre. NNPC portal closure, denies us access to Dangote petrol, oil marketers. Away from that, Serap sues Tinubu over petrol price hike. NNPCL's probe. The story is found on page 10. And still looking at the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning, Edo Ondo Post, the world is watching us. Anyako, the story is found on page 8. Edo Mulud, Tinubu, Akpabio, Abbas, governors, PDP, glow, preach selflessness. 35. That's page on 30, found on page 35 of the Vanguard newspaper. FG delivers 1,200 CNG kits to 5 states. Maiduguri flooding. FG unveils identity of 281 fleeing inmates, recaptures 7. I mean, I saw the pictures of the fleeing inmates being published sometime yesterday. Okay, attempts to divert attention with U.S. polls. And the last one, Nena D. Usman has integrity to lead Labour Party, NLC. And moving away from that, let's look at the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning.
How do you value integrity in Nigeria? This is Nenadi Usman, was finance minister, subsequently a senator, and of course she returned some money.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, she was alleged to have engaged in some corrupt practices, and she actually returned some money.
She did. So I think people should be very careful.
Now, NLC is saying that, endorsing her that she has integrity. Okay, and coming from NLC for that matter.
Be mindful in their deployment of words.
Okay, interesting stories, I'll tell you. Moving away from that, Nigerian Tribune, we have this one saying Nigerians continue to lament high cost of cooking gas. I think about the last time I got it in my area, I think it was about 1,300 per kilogram. And somebody was telling me that it was about 1,400 per kilogram.
Depending on where you're buying from.
Okay. We purchased petrol from Dangote at 998 naira per litre, NNPCL. You quoted price incorrect. Okay, your quoted price incorrect, Dangote Refinery. Okay, but why is Dangote not giving us the actual price?
Well, because factors.
We'll get there, definitely. Because NNPC is saying we are not giving us the price at which they are getting it from you.
Yeah, because I think, when you ask some people, when you see people on the social media, they say relationship, they say complicated.
Oh, okay, that's true. Complicated. It's actually complicated. Now, talking politics this morning, Edo PDP APC bicker over alleged planned removal of Obaseki security. That story is found on pages 22 and 23. And riders, Anyoku, international community watching INEC, others. Any manipulation will cause exodus of Nigerians to Europe. PDP wants EU to prevail on INEC, others to respect will of electorate. Okay, away from that, Maiduguri flood and coast declares 281 inmates missing. Ekiti to spend 15 billion naira on construction of Ado Iworoko Ifaki Federal Road. Survivors of Uniben building collapse recount ordeal. Okay, let me take the last story, the last newspaper. That is still talking about the confusion in the pump price of petrol. Confusion over pump price. Subsidy as FG offtakes down to withdraw Obaseki security detail. That story is found on page 29. Banks sack 49 as fraud-related losses spike by 9,004% in the second quarter of this year alone. It's indicating that some bank officials are engaged in fraudulent practices within the banking system.
Look at that percentage of increase.
9,004% in the second quarter of this year alone.
I mean, these things should be interrogated. But you see, banks, financial institutions are always so sensitive. They don't want such stuff in the public space. They deal with it quietly. It is alarming.
It is alarming.
And it is symptomatic. These are symptoms of underlying factors.
All right, 2 more stories from the Guardian newspaper before we go to get the perspective of our analysts this morning. Crime pays.
Crime pays heavily.
Okay. Maiduguri flood. FG releases pictures of 281 fleeing inmates. Captures 7. That story is found on page 3. And the last one I'll be taking Obasanjo, and that's
that meeting when you have a Gusso in their midst.
Gusso Abdusalami IBB.
A man who's
AYODEJI AJISOPE. Let's go straight to the to get your own perspective of this story, starting with price of petrol. Who is fooling who? NNPCL is saying that okay, we are getting this commodity from Dangote refinery at 898 naira per liter.
Yeah.
And Dangote has come out to say, oh, that is not the correct figure. But it's keeping mute on the correct figure at which it is selling to NNPCL. There are many issues I want us to discuss about this.
There are many issues. Because there are many perspectives to this. Now, Dangote is saying he's not talking about price. NNPC, you see, it's a game. And the bottom line for me is about importation. Okay, NNPC has promised that it will be delivering from 1st of October 385,000 barrels of crude to Dangote. Whatever they gave Dangote before now, or whatever they sold to Dangote before now, Dangote bought at spot market price. And that means there's even NNPC or their joint venture did not sell directly to Dangote. They sold to their agents, and those agents added their own markup of $2-3 per barrel before turning around to sell to Dangote. So NNPC or Dangote bought at the spot market price, and of course imported from North America, imported from Asia. So whatever Dangote is going to be selling of production,
okay,
at least the current stock that Dangote is refining and selling, how much is NNPC itself importing? Jimmy told us last week or 2 weeks ago that the landing price of PMS is 1,200. So if Dangote even sells this at 1,000 naira or thereabout, they even say they're buying for 890 something. That is way below. Even if you add the markup and margins, it won't be up to 1,200. That NNPC is saying is the landing cost. And landing cost, I guess, means landing at the port before you start adding other markups. That is why they said it's sold to them, as they claim, at 890 something.
898.
898. That's even below. By the time they do all the markup, at least in the southern parts of this Nigeria, nobody is going to be selling for above 1,000 naira. When I say southern part, and I mean up to Lokoja, I mean up to River Niger and below. You understand?
Okay.
It's not going to be up to 1,000 naira. Max 1,000 naira. Max 1,000 naira. So, isn't that better than what an NPC has been doing? Doing under recovery. You understand? So, under recovery, you don't forget that Soludo said in this year, I think in the past 5 months, NNPC has not dropped anything in the Federation account. All we have been sharing is from internally generated revenue, FIRS, and customs, and all of that. So, isn't that even better than what NNPC is currently doing? So, NNPC will be in a position, at least, even if it is crude alone that is selling, you understand? We'll be able to drop money in the FAC account. At least, it will be having foreign exchange, you understand? What Dangote will be doing is buying in naira, not yet. That is by the agreement that was signed on Friday.
Okay.
That is what Zach AYODEJI told us, by the agreement signed on Friday. And even if NNPC is buying in naira, it will be at the prevailing exchange rate. It will not be at a concessionary rate.
Okay.
So it is still market forces determining what Dangote will
Now,
get.
you said they reached an agreement on Friday, but
AYODEJI, FIRS chief came out and laid before us the details of the agreement.
but all the terms of the agreement seem to, some of the terms of the agreement seem to be in secrecy, because I mean, looking at, let me put it this way, from the Nigerian Tribune, when NNPCL are quoting wrong figure as per the price, why is Dangote not bold enough to come out and say, okay, this is the actual price they are giving it to NNPCL? Why are they keeping mute on that aspect
They have to be careful.
of?
They have to be careful. I think they're playing safe. You understand? Dangote is playing a game between the people and the NNPC.
But it seems they're playing games with the minds of Nigerians, because Nigerians are left in the dark because we don't know what is really happening.
You see,
You know, we've believed that the arrival of Dangote, the incoming of Dangote refinery, will bring succor
is a
to
company.
Nigerians.
Does Nigerian Brewery tell the public how much they sell to their distributors?
Okay.
Does Nestle tell the public what they sell to their distributors? They don't owe anybody any explanation. Let us be
But they should
clear.
have kept mute instead of now coming up to say,
They
okay, that is
said-
the wrong figure.
They said that NNPC is misleading and being mischievous. And the underlying factor is that whatever they are selling currently was procured directly from the spot market. And you see, an NNPC is already trying to offtake. They want to reap where they did not sow currently. Based on the agreement they signed on Friday. That is why NNPC is trying to offtake. Why is NNPC playing the role of a middleman?
And talking about playing the role of a middleman, it seems NNPCL is trying to take the monopoly, because now they are saying that, okay, they are the only ones to deal directly with NNPC, I mean with the Dangote refinery in off-taking.
Out of a stock they did not supply.
So why are they keeping other marketers out of
They are
reach?
Well, you see, let me look this issue of importation. This issue of being in the middle of the game, like a referee. NNPC officials still want to continue to play the role of regulator. They say there's no regulation, yet they want to be in the middle of it. They don't want to be. They don't let them go and play their own business now. Let them continue to import. Let them go to sell to the. Let them go to sell.
I think that should be there. They should import, supply Dangote with the commodity, and let Dangote dispense
sell
to
anybody
the
that-
marketers that want to buy.
Do you remember that last week Dangote accused marketers that they were not taking AGO from him? That they wrote the presidency that Dangote was going to destroy the market for them. He crashed the diesel to 900. That 95% of marketers are not buying from them. That they're exporting. And they eventually, when these people brought out the letter that Dapman, Depot, of course, that the people that are problematic here, the Depot and Petroleum, they wrote the Senate president that Dangote wants to monopolize. Is he monopolizing? The man invested 20 billion. He has capacity. You understand? And when you have capacity like that, the
Okay,
product-
NNPC was accusing Dangote of trying to monopolize.
No, Dapman.
Okay.
There's Dapman, there's Ipman.
Okay.
Wrote the Senate president that their investment that we're going to roll down, and said those guys that own the depots and tank farms, they should go and sell their stuff as scrap. Those are the depot and tank farm owners. You understand? Now, Dangote can load 2,833,000 liter tankers in a day. That is huge. And it has capacity by its location anyway to load to those who are going to take to the south. Somebody was telling me yesterday, a security analyst, that guy that came here, he was telling me, was almost 1 hour, seated in one location in his car. He said, look, because he works in this, he said, up to a location in Ida, in Kogi, you go. That people from Lagos go to Ida, in Kogi, by sea to trade. So and he told me that Kogi shares boundaries with 12 states in Nigeria. So if you haul product from Dangote to Ida, you can, that means, and that is the center of Nigeria. So you don't need to be doing road transportation. You can do whatever road transportation you want to do from that location. And of course, you know how that will impact the economy of that location and the environs. So that is another aspect of distribution. And Dangote has the capacity to distribute by sea. You understand? That was actually why he and Otedola bought Kaduna and Port Harcourt there. That was reversed. So I think with time, NNPCs, they don't want to hands off this transaction. Now, when they are going to start supplying 385,000 barrels per day, where is it coming from? We should ask now. There is the PIA say, and there was always a domestic crude allocation that was going to the refineries, our local refineries, our NNPC refineries. They were swapping it. What is the arrangement for? Is it a swap deal that NNPC has entered into with Dangote? You understand? Is it a swap deal? And what are the conditions for the swap deal? You say you'll be taking PMS and AGO. What about the other numerous products?
From crude oil.
From crude oil. What is the transaction for that? They're not going to throw it away. Dangote will retain it. What is the arrangement for it? What are they going to be paying for it? Are they going to be paying you back for it? You understand? I mean, all these things are shady. And NNPC is in the middle of it all. But Dangote is a businessman. He knows they can put, as they say, they will just put sand in his palm oil.
It reminds me, I think the role Dangote is trying to play now is this Yoruba that says, Yoruba saying that says, Eponimuru, Oniyogi, those for my own.
You have 20 billion naira dollars
investments on your. But now let's look at it. Now that NNPCL wants to play the role of the supplier of the crude oil to Dangote and still wants to double play as a middleman. What implication will it have on the availability of the commodity and its price?
I think it is impossible now to say prices are available.
Because I heard it somewhere last night on a particular program that probably NNPC is trying to stabilize the price. Maybe if they give the other marketers, independent marketers, access to a Dangote to get, maybe there might be discrepancies in the prices of which each of them will be selling.
Look, I take it 900 naira. You take it 900 naira. We're all taking to locations in Lagos. Let everybody sell at whatever price they like now. Maybe the buyer will go to where. Look, I'm a small player. You are a big player. You buy 100.
But shouldn't there be a fixed price for that? Because now, if you are an independent marketer and I'm an independent marketer, and we are both getting this commodity at a particular fixed price from Dangote refinery, why should I go and overinflate it?
The motive is to maximize profit. But some other things will determine how you sell and what you sell at. Your capacity is to buy 10 tankers. My capacity is to buy 2 tankers. Look, in business, the issue is turnover. It's not how much margin you add. How quickly can I turn over this, money?
Okay.
I buy 2 tankers, 66,000 liters. I sell it within 3 days. I'm back to buy another. So you buy 10 tankers. You put high margin on it, and you sit down, and you are running costs. You understand? You are running overhead. So is it not better to eventually determine margin, turn it over quickly? But you see, attitude is different. Those northerners, that's what I've seen in this country. Yoruba will sit with one and want to maximize profit. A northerner will sell, he will make profit quickly, and then so it's about turnover that will determine this thing. NNPC is trying to play a role that does no longer exist.
So what will be the implication of this role that NNPC is trying to play now, being the middleman and at the same time being the supplier?
And people are just worried and maybe a little scared. The marketers you have, we're talking about the guys that have been around since the days of exploration. They want to get their supply. You don't want to go and struggle for supply. You will notice that it is the major marketers that had fuel when there was scarcity.
Yeah, I mean,
their prices were
and
stable.
they're even saying it that independent marketers feel left out of the old thing now.
That is still regulation.
Okay.
And you are saying the market has been deregulated. What is the role of NNPC? NNPC itself is a player now. Isn't NNPC a player? They have retail. NNPC is a player, and then NNPC still wants to play the role of a regulator. You understand? The days of regulation and modulation is over with the entry of Dangote. You understand? But Dangote is trying to play, tactically. Let NNPC import now. Maybe NNPC has retail. Let them continue to import. And then they now say they are doing under recovery. When people say, doing under recovery, why don't you buy from Dangote? And then the prices of this thing will not be stable. I think that is a role that NNPC may be pretending to be playing. You understand?
All right.
The market is deregulated. NNPC itself has a retail subsidiary. So they are players too. NNPC are players. Now they should stop this kind of regulation. Why should NNPC regulate?
All right, but just before we leave this...
Because NNPC is owned by government.
Before we leave this petrol price issue, let's take this last one coming from that angle as well. Syrups used Tinubu over petrol price hike and the PCL's probe. What do you make out of that?
I don't understand the price of NNPCL. That is why it is NNPCL. You understand? It is now NNPCL.
But why suing Tinubu?
Well, they will sue Tinubu because they will say MOFI, Ministry of Finance Incorporated, and NMP.
Is it Tinubu that dictates the pump price of petrol?
You now, you can join people now. They are suing Tinubu. They will be suing NNPC and Ministry of Finance and whatever, and then they will now join Tinubu. They are not joining Tinubu, they are joining the office of the president. If Tinubu is out of office tomorrow and the case goes on, it is not Tinubu, but that's the way the newspapers will put it. Now, what's the other part of the story? You see,
I know you said it many times that NNPC. But I still find it hard to be on the same page with you when you talk about the fact that NNPCL shouldn't be probed. A lot of people have been calling for the probing of that institution called NNPCL. By looking at all these different kinds of dealings,
what will be the objective of the probe?
At least to set the record straight.
I don't think there is a
somebody should demand for the files of all these transactions and everything and scrutinize them. Because it seems NNPCL is running on autopilot. They can just wake up and do whatever they want to do.
You see, there is nothing Abiola in 1990, I think I sent you that video. NNPC transactions has always been as opaque as the crude oil they deal with. Haven't you seen Aramco that NNPCL is fashioned after? Haven't you seen?
Is that how it should be in other countries, other developed countries?
Aramco, if you go online, you will see the screen where everything, including the pipes, you see. Okay, even the auctioning of what do you call it? OPL, operating licenses. Allocation of oil blocks. Is it transparent? You will ask yourself, how did some people get to? I know of a particular family that first drilled years on end before they eventually got, and eventually struck. They got their block and then eventually struck oil. You understand? There's more accurate data and all of that. Is it transparent? You will wonder. You didn't know that Danjuma had two oil blocks. It was one suggestion that we drew one. To allocate oil block to Nigerians that have no technical capacity. Then they will not go and look for technical partners. What Danjuma said when the technical partners came, of course they will study the report, you understand, the seismic report, and they saw, the deposit, the recoverable that is in that block. And then I think Danjuma said they gave him $500 million or something. Danjuma himself said, Danjuma, not a man that was not well off by any means. Danjuma himself said that he was shocked. Even Abiola, Moshood Abiola, globally acknowledged. When the day they struck oil, you remember I took him to Babangida in Wonga? He said, and the man said in Yoruba, Moshood Abiola, wealthy. He said, Ele Igangalobe. Every drop of food like this. Every drop of food like this. Without actually doing anything. You get those blocks by allocation, by who you know. I mean, one woman got an oil block in this country. We knew what she was doing before that now, without trying to derogate about. So that is the transaction that is going on in NNPC. It has always been like that. They are not going to hands up. Look, the same thing goes for sports. Do you remember that there was a time FIFA wanted to sanction Nigeria? Football is running as business everywhere. But in Nigeria, the government agents are holding onto the jugular of football because it's money spending. They have, instead of allowing it to run as a business and then as an industry, they're holding on to the jugular. It is the same thing with NNPC now.
All right, let's move away from that. Let's talk politics. With Edo election coming few days from now, there seems to be so much agitation coming from that particular state. And looking at the account of the Nigerian Tribune this morning, Edo PDP, there have been allegations about, I read it somewhere that the REC, the INEC commissioner of that state happens to be the cousin of Nyesom Wike. And we all know the role Wike is playing in this, because he has come out openly and said he will never, ever give his support to Obaseki. And he will do everything to make sure that he doesn't win. Now you have a cousin, your cousin, his cousin, as the referee.
You see, what is the role of the referee? Even what powers does the referee have in this regard? Can he allocate votes to APC?
We always raise sentiments from that angle.
But we have to interrogate these things. The reality of the process. What is the reality of the process? We have to interrogate these things. The possibility of that man affecting the processes in favor of any party.
And I read it somewhere yesterday too that even the police commissioner or something had been changed in and been replaced by as a police commissioner. I can't even remember now. That replaced by Wike's classmate.
You see, for me, honestly, it is not nice for us to be saying things like that about people. I look in the mirror. You said I located myself in that place, and then somebody will be saying I'm the governor's cousin. Therefore, did you hear what Wike said about the man?
About who?
About his cousin. That is the rep. He said, "That my cousin." He said, "Very, very." He said, "I always thought I was the stubborn one." That the man cannot be influenced. And we know Wike is.
With that word.
Should we not give people some
benefit of doubt?
I don't
now,
Obaseki, what is the capacity of the rep
there are
in
some
influencing? Is he going to allocate votes?
There are so many things. There are so many issues attached to this election coming up in few days from now. Even Obaseki is crying out that there is a plan to remove all the security details.
Look. Let us. There's too much politics.
So much.
They will remove his security.
So
details.
much.
Who will remove
So much that even Emeka Nyako is crying out, saying that international community is watching us in their dealing.
You see.
I mean, something must have prompted Emeka Nyako. We know is the kind of a man he is to have voiced that sort of statement out.
Edo, you see, Edo is a swing state.
Okay.
Edo has always been a swing state. Edo had never belonged to any particular political party since 1979. Even if you go and watch the results of the election in Western Nigeria, you will know that Edo had always been a swing region and became a swing state. Look, let us address the factors that are going to influence. How did Obaseki become a second-term governor? You understand? How? And between then and now, what has happened? You understand? Wike, he was never a PDP man. You understand? He was not. He was and is not a PDP man. And they accommodated him. You understand? What did he do to the structure that accommodated him? How did he manage it? You understand? Has he sustained it? Has he improved on it? You see, you have to be strategic in have something. What will be the end game? Your eyes must be, you must define your goal, and your eyes must be on the goal. And then your strategy and tactical maneuvering must be in consonance with, yes, there will be medium, short term, but that long term goal will determine some of your actions now. But has he played? Has he played? Let me tell you one thing. Some factors. Apart from those factors, his party.
Yes.
What has he done to the party that accommodated him? And then the local factor. They did rally. They took the people to Esama's house. You know the role of the Oba of Benin. It's a Benin kingdom. His influence stretches very far and wide. You know, okay, it was not you. It was Victory that I was talking to about the content of the APC candidate. His performance, but he seems to be popular. You understand? And I think people are talking about Obaseki's non-performance. You know,
non-performance.
Yeah, that they were actually a bit let down. Because Obaseki was touted by Oshiomhole in his first term as the engine room of all he did in his 2 terms as governor. Obaseki was actually the head of the policy team, with Ighodalo too, a part of it. You understand? So everyone has said, Shebi, you told us when they will not say Obaseki is no longer working, he's not. I said, Shebi is you that brought him down and say, is the engine room, is your brain box. How can you not say so? And then he got sympathy. How did he manage the goodwill, you understand, that he got? And what was the issue with him between him and the palace? The issue of the artifacts that were returned. These artifacts belong
to the traditional institution.
To the Benin kingdom. And the man was insisting, I think it came some with, but you know, how do you manage relationships?
Are these factors big enough to affect the prospect of the PDP?
I think the governor is from the Aluta.
Talking about Philip Shaibu.
He rose through the ranks.
Who is not on the side too at the moment.
He's not on the side too. How did you feel to manage? How did you?
But comrade, let me put you on a hot spot this morning. If you were to be in the position of the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakub at the moment, and should it be the cousin of this person? Because you know that, peradventure, if PDP loses out in this election, you know, it won't go down well with the PDP. They will say, oh, Chebi, we already know who is the chairman. What will you do? Wouldn't you play so that there won't be any issues, any avenue to raise questions of such after the election?
I think that will mean we are reducing the processes as dependent on the REC. That's the larger picture.
Okay.
The larger picture is that we're making it look like, okay, the REC can actually, in reality, influence the outcome of the
election.
Processes.
Okay.
That it can compromise the processes in favor of a candidate.
Because I can tell you probably. Well, I'm not bothered about who wins the election, but if PDP loses out in this election, we'll still come on this platform to talk about what PDP will be saying.
It is the processes that will now subject to interrogation, not the man.
Okay.
Not the man. It's about. That's the problem we have. We are reducing these elections to that of a man rather than the institution. And I think that is, I agree with the position of what you call him, the INEC chairman, that the INEC is an institution and there are processes, and those processes will survive an integrity test and not the man that hates it. Believe you me, that will be my position.
Okay, so much have been said about Obaseki, but let's talk about the man contesting himself now.
Which man?
The PDP candidate.
The PDP candidate, Ighodalo. You see,
and we'll still talk about the candidate of the AP.
Of course, I will support a person like Ighodalo. He's gotten pedigree. He's got a pedigree. I knew Momo Young, she used to be around here.
Okay, their mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, fairy woman, strong woman. I also have supported the person of his pedigree because of where he's coming from, industry. And you see, you cannot operate in industry without vision. And then it won't be politics as usual. You understand?
Okay.
Governance as usual. Serving political ends rather than serving the people end. But there's always a drawback when you bring people like that. The people are likely, they will bring corporate guys. And the corporate guys, they're going to be bringing them from Lagos. And that will impact negatively. He won't understand. He will be trying to run efficiently.
Ighodalo now.
Yes.
Okay.
He wants to run efficiently, you understand? But what about serving the people purpose? I want to build a road. A 1 kilometer local road. I said, okay, let's consolidate. 1 kilometer here, 1 kilometer there. Let's give how many local governments? We want to build 30 local governments. 1 kilometer. Let me bring a company from Lagos. Oh yeah, award the 30 kilometers to him. But that guy will just come and take all the money to Lagos. But if it were to be done locally, 1 kilometer per local government, it will be given to the local people. You construct 200-meter drainage. It will go down to the ward level. And all of
Do
that.
the local people have the equipment to give a quality job? To execute quality job?
Maybe they are not the ones that will be dictating the quality of the job. They will be giving, it should be the Ministry of Work. All those states have direct labor stuff that they do now. You understand? And it is about adhering to the bill of quantity. You understand? And not eating 60 or 50% of it. I mean, they will. Should be all of these things is not new. It is only that what they take out of it now is it used to be 10%. You know, they were calling them 10%ers, politicians in the days of First Republic. But they are now 90 or 70%ers. They want to take 70% of it, and there's no way it's going to work. When you do anything, the margin of that is put on any contract is about 30% or thereabout. Anything more than that, you are eating into the thing, or they even inflate and still eat more than what they're supposed to.
All right, so, now let's talk about the
APC, that guy.
The other guy, the APC guy.
He's a politician.
Okay.
You understand? And I think he knows his audience when it comes to politics.
But after rallies and you begin to wonder.
And I saw the one he did on Saturday. He must have been coached. I mean, I saw it this morning again. I really went back to look at it again. That is this the same Okwebolo that was saying he was going to deliver insecurity? Was it stage fright? You understand? Or did you see Oshomole, how agitated Oshomole was?
You know, Oshomole has always been a public speaker for years.
When Okwebolo was talking and the man was banging the guardrails. On Saturday, you could see apprehension on the faces of I saw Uzodimma behind him.
Oh, Uzodimma.
I saw what do you call it? Akpabio. I saw the
Vice President. There. Vice President was there. Shetima, even there. Gadunde.
So Gadunde. You know, when he started talking in a coherent manner, you could see the relief.
You know,
or similarly coherent manner, you could see relief.
They have been saying that he could hardly express himself in English.
Well, we saw videos of the man saying he was going to deliver security.
Let's try to be comical in his delivery. Let's listen to what Okpabio had to say at the rally on Saturday.
I don't want somebody who speaks grammar. I want somebody who performs. As I'm standing in front of you, if you come to Akwa Ibom State, you will see my signature from the airport. And you will move through roads without a pothole. And after that, if you branch towards the e-library, you will be shocked. And you enter the international stadium, you will be shocked. You enter the government house, you will be shocked. You will see the flyovers, you will be shocked. What are we talking about? We are talking about a government of the youth that will bring nothing but empowerment to you. A government that will rejoin the center. As I'm talking now, the federal government has given contract for you to ensure that the road is constructed. Work has already started. As I'm talking to you now. So the young man is already using, even NDDC is moving here to help you to develop it. I am not impressed with this road that comes to this arena. I saw this road 4 years ago. It is still the same way. How can I be a governor and I was swimming in potholes around in my own state? How can I be a governor and people are still poor? How can I be a governor and I'm destroying market instead of building market? How can I be a governor? I'm destroying hospitals. How can I be a governor and I'm not empowering my people? I'm here as a witness that you have all signed that the next government that is coming, rejoining us in the center, the APC government of Monday Okwebolo and Dennis Itahosa, that Obaseki and his grammar should be thrown out on the 21st of September. Say aye!
Aye!
I want him to hear in government now. I'm saying those in support that Governor Obaseki and his group, whether from Lagos or Accra, should be thrown out on the 21st of September. Can you shout aye?
Aye!
And those against say nay. They are not here. So the ayes have it. The Senate President has endorsed. So if I say Okwebolo, you say it they look, it they go. Okwebolo, it they look, it. Okwebolo.
Now that's the ever comical Senate President Godswill Okpabio at the rally on Saturday. During rally, gathering support for Monday Okwebolo, the APC candidate at the Giba poll. He talked about speaking grammar, that the Edo people don't want grammar speaker. But like we were saying, looking at the composure of this man, Okwebolo, public composure, is it, do people expect something good from him?
I like you. I like that word that you applied. It seemed to be coherent on Saturday, but it's composure.
Composure, yeah. That was why I used that word.
It's composure. And you see, even this grammar that
Obaseki
was talking about,
okay.
It comes down, for me, it comes down to the capacity to grasp, to understand. You grasp, you understand, and then you devise solutions. It's about thinking. It's about vision. You see, all these pedestrian solutions has to be visionary. It has to be in short. Some people, they were talking about education becoming expensive and all of that. I said, you people, if you are ignorant, stop talking like that. Even Obafemi Awolowo in his days, this thing that people call free education was actually not free education. People paid education tax in Western region. Nobody remembers the returns they got on what they paid for as education tax was way more than the pain. You understand? When the pleasure outweighs the initial pain, you forget the pain. So that is it. So, one man that will come now, when you look at what that man was saying, Akpabio, infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure to what end? Even when you are developing infrastructure, it must, when you are putting infrastructure in place, it must be done to serve an end. You understand? It has to be what they call not just development in, isolated development. It has to be integrated development. Development that is geared to infrastructure that is geared towards delivering economic development. Why are you doing that road? Oh, is it some people because you think that community deserves to have a road? No, it must be to an end. Not just to serve political. I know somebody there. You understand? There are times in this Oyo state that if you know whoever, you get roads, you will get your street tarred. You understand? You know, that is not development. I do not, and they want danger in that team, that Okpebolo team. Idahosa is an ambitious person. And you see, it is not nice to have an ambitious
as your deputy. As your deputy.
Idahosa is an ambitious man. And he has backers. Oshiomhole is his backer. That was the man Oshiomhole
actually wanted, yes.
He is ambitious. Idahosa has been around for a while. I do not know the equation in the senatorial district of Okpebolo that he got that ticket. Idahosa is ambitious. Thinking that Okpebolo is not smart.
That is my concern too.
And I think even if you give the sword to a foolish man, he will cut heads too. And the governor is a powerful man. And Edo will suffer for that.
All right, let's talk about this. While I was reading out the headlines, we talked about this Nenadi Usman getting endorsement from NLC as the most suitable person based on our integrity.
I hope they didn't use that word.
Do you want me to read it again?
Please read it.
Okay.
It is important.
Okay, for the listener to know, Vanguard of today, Monday, September 16, 2024. So you won't say it was Laffy that actually came up with that. Okay, Vanguard can see this particular story. Nenadi Usman has integrity to lead Labour Party, NLC. It's found on page 9.
You see, I don't understand this kind of deployment of word.
Probably you should remind Nigerians who Nenadi Usman
Nenadi Usman
is
ordinarily a good woman.
Yes.
Ordinarily a good woman. She's from Kaduna.
A senator.
A senator. She was a finance minister. And then I do not know whether she's still married to the Oba, the emir. She's married to one emir in nice pedigree. So, this woman was returned money, 100-something million naira.
Which was alleged to have been
under her watch.
And she agreed.
She repaid. Even some
Wait, let's take it one by one. She agreed.
That was
that there were mismanagement of funds.
Yes.
Under her watch.
Yeah.
And she repaid.
And even some properties.
And she gave up some properties.
Yes, that were acquired
to the EFCC.
Yes, via illicit
in this country.
In this country.
Now NLC is saying that she has integrity to lead Labour Party.
Now means to NLC. What is integrity? NLC.
Coming from NLC.
Coming from NLC. They say the woman has integrity to lead.
Probably the choice of word wasn't appropriate. Maybe they should have said.
What message are you trying to get?
Maybe they should have said she has experience to handle that, but using the word integrity.
Well, you see, they can say she has integrity when you compare with people that have been accused of taking $16 billion. Those who have been taking, so if the woman has just been accused and returned 181
naira
and just a few houses, maybe by Nigerian standards she has integrity. When you compare it with what Desiani and the rest have been accused of center in Nigeria, that is what is a measure of integrity. We are wonderful people.
We are indeed a wonderful people. I think, comrade, that's the much time permits us to take this. I would have loved us to talk about some other issue, like this particular one that talks about Nigerians continue to lament high cost of cooking gas, and schools are resuming tomorrow. Yeah. Prices of books.
I was
and there are some schools, even federal government schools, that have decided to increase their school fees. And maybe I saw that story coming from Lagos, that Lagos increased school fees and some
for hostel 200%. I was in conversation with one of our IT students. She told me that last session, twice fees in a session, twice fees were increased. Twice. Last session. And then this session, of course, naturally, you would expect.
So probably tomorrow when schools resume, we'll talk more.
And then the cost of commuting.
The cost of so much for parents now. So much for we parents
commuting and then providing schools that don't provide lunch.
Now with the high cost of transportation in the midst of this lingering fuel scarcity, and the parents will have to consider, okay, you need to provide food enough for these kids to eat at home before they go to school. Give them something to eat at school. I mean, in the midst of the increase in the school fees,
you're going to buy books,
everything.
You're going to buy new uniforms.
We'll talk about that tomorrow morning. We'll talk about tomorrow. But that's the much we can take. Thank you very much, Comrade AYODEJI AJISOPE, for being a part of the program this morning. I really missed this session with you, and it's so good to be back with you.
It's great.
Okay. All right. My name is AYODEJI LAFENWA. By the grace of God, we'll be back again tomorrow morning to give you a fresh edition of From the Dailies on your number one radio dial, Solutions 93.9 FM. Stay tuned. Bye for now.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, just see them coming, see them lying. Political fusion, oh, just see them looting. Police are shooting innocent people. Oh, what a pity that we city. What a pity now we city. So we make sugar for me tea. Me no want no cake away. We make sugar for me tea. In progress just roaming the street. This world is full of cheats. Oh, what a smelly shit. Give me make sugar for me tea. Me no want no cake away. Give me make sugar for me tea. Me no want no cake away. Empty promise for the masses. Legacy of colonial masters. The sons working and paying taxes. The money disappearing with no traces. Give me little sugar for me tea. Me no want no cake away.